During the pandemic, I blank. Hi, I'm Dave Ruby, and this video is all about how I accidentally got through the pandemic. So I'm telling this story because a friend of mine said it might be a good story for people wanting to know what this stuff is like. Does it actually work? What changes can it possibly make? So if you go back to 2019, the end of 2019, we didn't know it yet, but there was a virus starting in Asia and it was going to spread across the globe and essentially stop life as we knew it. Now, entirely by coincidence, I signed up for the Core Transformation Coaching Certification, and that's not an ab workout, that's actually, bad joke, but that's actually a program based off of Tamara Andreas' book. It's taught by Tamara Andreas and Mark Andreas. And they had a coaching certification program that I wanted to take. And first they had you, optionally, they had you do, they called it a 30-day challenge. So what you do is you would start to do this technique on yourself for 30 days. And it was great because I had done that with clients, but this allowed me to actually, in a more concentrated way, to kind of apply this to myself. I thought that was a great idea and it kind of fit in with the course requirements. So I started doing core transformation with myself once a day. And core transformation lets you get to these states that are kind of enduring. And that can be things like states of just being, or being at peace, or a sense of oneness, or more of a universal love. So there are these states that don't really rely on anything. You can just be that. And that was great because if you can access that resource state, then everything else in life kind of flows better, at least in my experience. So back to the pandemic. Meanwhile, society was kind of falling to pieces. We were running out of things like food and toilet paper, and people were getting sick and sometimes dying, and everything was shut down. People were very isolated. Things were just looking really bad from a societal level across the globe. Now, what I noticed, and this was interesting to me, as I'm going through this, it didn't really bother me as much. Certainly things bothered me, not being able to go places, not being able to see people or go to events. The news was very bleak at that time. And yet what I noticed was I could sympathize with what was going on with people getting sick and with society kind of falling off the rails, so to speak. But it didn't bother me as much. And when it did bother me, it didn't stick. It was less intense. It lasted for less time. And overall, I had this kind of sense of peace about the situation. I just knew that we were going to get through it and that no matter what happened, I'd be able to do whatever I could to maneuver it the best that I was able to. So what I've noticed since then is that I don't necessarily use core transformation daily anymore, but I'm able to use that, and admittedly other techniques as well, and things just tend not to be as bad. Now, I'm still human. I still have all the emotions any of you would, and I have all the emotions I had before, but the bad ones aren't quite as bad. They don't stick as much. When they, when they're around, it's the negative emotions are, I don't know, they're muted. And the positive emotions I'm able to access more freely. And anything that kind of pops up, I'm able to go in and sort of work with. So during the pandemic, I thrived, frankly. Now, why would I share the story with you? It's not to brag, per se, or at all, for that matter. But it is to let you know that this is what this can be like for you. And I share this with people because I think core transformation and things like self-hypnosis or meditation or any of the other tools that hypnotists like myself teach, those are things you can use on a daily basis that can only enhance the work you do with a coach or just enhance life in general. So what I do tell clients or people that are interested is learn this stuff. You can learn it from the book or from a coach like myself or from an online program, but use this stuff to make your life better. And the way I was taught it is anything you can do on your own, go for it. Make your life as good as it possibly can be. Why not? And if you find there are things you do need help with, then ask a coach like myself or whoever you would trust. And just use whatever it takes to kind of get through whatever you're going through. So if you don't need a coach, great. For anything you do, then ask one of us. And for any of my hypnotists or coaching friends, I would make not a request, but I would say that it's worth learning techniques like this. One, core transformation is one I think is great with clients. It's one I use quite regularly. But it's also good for using with yourself to kind of make that internal change that can kind of reflect out for people that come to see you. So I think it's useful for work with clients, but why let them have all the benefits, right? If you can do it for yourself, then go for it. But for anyone interested, I did put a link to the a core transformation webinar in the description. And if you have any questions or comments or want to know more about hypnosis or what I do, then feel free to leave a note in the comments or contact me directly. And if you are interested in a consult or possible sessions, I do have a Calendly link for links to a free consultation. It's free, there's no obligation, and might even be fun, right? So thanks for your time and thanks for watching. Bye.